Help us get to 250,000 subscribers. If you're already subbed, just know that I appreciate you and everyone here at Chat Sports does. We are an interactive YouTube channel, and we couldn't get this far without all y'all. If this is the first time you've stumbled across a Chat Sports video, we're live, we're interactive, we have a good time. So make sure you hit that big red button that says subscribe. It's NFL mailbag time here, and if you want to get your question on the show, you got to join us live every single Monday and Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. If you want to get your questions on the show, you got to use hashtag NFL or Super Chat. It's the easiest way to do it. Speaking of Super Chats, I got my man Burnin Spades. What are the chances of Aaron Rodgers and Julio Jones being traded to Denver? What could ATL get if they trade for Julio after they get Rodgers? Wow, I mean, if Julio would go to Denver, that would be a super dynamic offense. However, I don't really see Denver really doing that because they have KJ Hamler, they have Cortland Sutton, you have Jerry Jeudy, you have Noah Fant. Not that they couldn't use Julio, but there's going to be other teams that offer up a little bit more, so I'll say no, I don't see him going there. Let's go to sports news and discussion. Will the Cleveland Browns land Julio Jones for the 2021 season? Anything to win a Super Bowl, please put me on the show. Well, if you say please, maybe we'll put you on. Spam, please. I don't think the Browns are going to be a team that are able to pull off this move. Also, it's not really where I think Julio Jones is going to want to go. It sounds like Atlanta doesn't want to trade him in the NFC, which obviously helps out a team like Cleveland, and they've been very aggressive. However, I personally don't see him ending up going to Cleveland. Dman Dooney, Broncos trade for Jones and use him with other things to trade for Rodgers or of Rodgers. So we'll just use other things. What are other things to trade for Rodgers? Because I think you need something a little bit more than other things to be able to pull off that move. Broncos, Julio, I just don't think it's going to happen. Rodgers, though, yes, a lot more likely. Dirty Mike and the boys. I added the dirty part in there. Get over it. Should the Dolphins sign Morgan Moses to play right tackle? I like this question a lot. I understand he was just released by the Washington football team. It was simply to do with money. He's still one of the better right tackles in the league, and I get that the Dolphins are confident in their tackles and they're confident in their offensive line. However, I mean, Moses would be the better right tackle on that team right now compared to Hunt. So if you can do it, I mean, I'll say this. Why not go ahead and try to do it? So help me out here. Which NFL team y'all think needs a right tackle the most? And I know we talk about offensive lines, and you're like, it's an offensive lineman, who cares? I'm a big believer that the battle of the trenches is what really decides football games. And if you got a team that doesn't have a good right tackle and it's a swing door, I mean, it's going to be really difficult. But for a team like Miami, let's say, where your quarterback's the lefty and that's your blind side, I mean, that's even more important. So go down in the comment section. Let me know which NFL team needs a right tackle the most. Joey. Hypothetically, Patrick Mahomes gets traded for Aaron Rodgers and a first pick. Fill in the blank and factor in everything, including age. Let's try this out. Honestly, it's going to cost a lot more than that. I mean, we've already had people talk about, I wouldn't give up 10 first-round picks for Patrick Mahomes. I'd probably still say no. And I get that Aaron Rodgers is the MVP, but it'd probably have to be Aaron Rodgers and like 5 or 6 first-round picks to get Mahomes. Like, you don't give up Patrick Mahomes. So sorry, Joey. I can't entertain this one. Let's go to Dom Towney. Great mustache. How much would it take for Seattle to get Stephon Gilmore, Daddy Mitch? Wow, we're just all over the place with this one. I'm not the daddy. It's Tom, just so we're very, very clear on that. In terms of going out and getting Gilmore, if you can give up a second-round pick, that's the route you got to do. I mean, obviously you can't give up a first-rounder because you don't have any. But for the Patriots, they've sat here and said for a while that they would like to be able to get a first-round pick for the 2019 Offensive Player of the Year. But if you can get it for a second-rounder, shit, why not? What up, Frankie? Melvin Gordon or Phillip Lindsay? If you're asking me who do I think is the better running back, if you're telling me maybe just like a one game, I might actually go with Lindsay. Melvin Gordon, to me, is one of the more overrated running backs in the league. However, who do I trust to be healthier for a longer stretch of the season? It will be Gordon, but it seems like Denver's a little bit more confident than them. Frankie, if you're a Broncos fan, check out our Broncos channel, youtube.com/BroncosTV. All right, we got Robert Bruce. Hello, Jeremy. Hello, Mitch. Do you think the Patriots have enough at running back to be competitive? Sony Michel was cut. Damian Harris is injured and all the time. All right, so I don't think Sony Michel was actually cut. Maybe I'm crazy on that one. But if Michel and Damian Harris are there, Sony Michel's actually always been a running back that I've liked a lot. And in terms of, like, do they have enough? Running back is probably one of the positions that I'm least worried about. But if Harris and Michel are both there, that's going to be a run-first football team. So Stevenson is a rookie. He's also a pretty powerful runner. If you guys want to get your questions on the show, use hashtag NFL, or you can super chat. This one's coming in from Lil Iden. You think the Browns trade Odell for Gilmore? No, I do not think so. I understand that this trade might actually help out both sides in terms of fits, but I would rather have, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, Odell Beckham Jr. due to age, and yes, they both have been banged up, but I'll take OBJ over Stephon Gilmore. Caleb, you're next up here on NFL Daily. Who do you think will have more success next year, Amari Cooper or CeeDee Lamb? Thanks for the great content. If you're a Cowboys fan, go check out the Cowboys Report. Just hit 94,000 subscribers, youtube.com/CowboysTV. So what do we got here? Amari Cooper or CeeDee Lamb? I'm going to go with Cooper just because I think he's going to be that number one receiver. Now, if you're asking me 2 or 3 years down the road, sure, I might go Lamb. But both dudes, I think you could actually see get over 1,000 receiving yards this year if Dak is actually fully healthy. If you are looking for more free videos around your favorite NFL teams or some breaking news, more live mailbags, hit that big red button that says subscribe and turn on those notifications because I don't want you all to miss anything. We have a lot of fun here on our live shows, and we go live twice a week, and if there's breaking news, we're giving it to you even more. And if you want stuff on the NBA, guess what? We do that too. youtube.com/ChatSportsTV. Harely Guy 27. Should the Seahawks make Jamal Adams the highest paid safety? Well, first we'll give some context to this. And Harley, if you're a Seahawks fan, the link is below. Should they go ahead and do it? I mean, if you give up 2 first-round picks for somebody, that kind of tells me that, okay, you need to be able to go out and pay him a lot of money. In terms of making the highest paid safety, I'll give you my answer here in a little bit. Y for yes, N for no. Should Seattle make Adams the highest paid safety in the National Football League? If you're going to type your Y for yes, I'll say, do you really want to give all that money to somebody who's really not very good at being able to cover? And then also in terms of, like, if you're going to type no, you have to remember you also gave up 2 first-round picks. So in terms of context, the highest paid safety in the league, it's Justin Simmons. Budda Baker is also on that list as well. When I show you the numbers here in terms of how much it's going to cost Seattle, that might change your opinion. But for me personally, I'm going to sit here and I'm actually going to head and type my N for no. I wouldn't go ahead and do it. But you got Justin Simmons, Budda Baker, Eddie Jackson, Kevin, and then Tyrann Mathieu. Byard, I'm not going to pay him more than Simmons. I'm not going to pay him more than Budda Baker because they're simply better. Sure, you're kind of going into the NFL where, all right, just because he's the highest paid guy, it doesn't make him the best. But I'm not going to give Jamal Adams that much money. However, I do think Seattle ends up doing it because they gave up 2 first-round picks. Let's go Praveen Padia, Julio Jones, a 2022 5th-round pick. 49ers get a 4th. No. No disrespect. If you're going to get Julio Jones, you got to give up at least a 2nd-round pick. I understand you're throwing in a 3rd and a 7th, but, I mean, that's so late. No, the Falcons hang up the phone and they laugh at you. Let's go to the next question coming up here on NFL Daily. Raymond Williams, who's better, Odell Beckham Jr. or CeeDee Lamb? Maybe you type Lamb. I'm still going to go OBJ. I think when fully healthy, he's still one of the most dynamic receivers in the league. I get that he's been injured, but he's still had 2 pretty successful seasons over 1,000 yards recently. Until I see Lamb be a little bit more consistent, then I might go that route. But if you're asking me which receiver would I rather have for the next 5 years, 6 years, then I'd probably go CeeDee Lamb. For hype or 3-channel friend, Daniel Jones or Ryan Tannehill? It is Ryan Tannehill, and it's not even close. So if you're watching this live, we are going to be doing our quarterback power rankings. If you're watching this on a later date, go to the Chat Sports YouTube channel and check out our top 32 starting or where we rank the 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL. 32 all the way down to 1. What up, Mark? What up, dude? Hey, Mitchell, how are you? Pretty good. Should the Packers or Vikings still sign another quarterback before the 2021 season? I mean, Green Bay's been pretty aggressive in terms. So is Houston. I think it kind of tells you the route that things could be going. I mean, if I'm Green Bay, you traded up for Jordan Love, so you got to be able to figure out what exactly he is. I don't know many quarterbacks that I'd rather have on the free agent market right now. But should the Green Bay or Vikings do it? I think if you do, that's just bad news for Rodgers. So I'm actually going to go ahead and say no. I don't think they should. Steve, we got how many more years does Matt Ryan have, and should we be looking in round 1 of the 2022 draft for a quarterback? Steve, it sounds like you're a Falcons fan. If you want to check out more Falcons videos at youtube.com/FalconsTV. How many more years does Matty Ice have? I'll say 3 to 5 years. The NFL's proven to me that it's very quarterback-driven, and it's going to help these guys stay healthy for a longer period of time. If they're in the top 5 again, shit, yeah, they better be looking for another quarterback. But if Ryan wants to stay there, and I think you got to keep him on the team because he's still a top 15 QB in my mind. What up, Leo? Rank Dak, Watson, Allen, Jackson, and Brady. Again, stay tuned if you're watching this live, but I don't want to give it away. I'll say the worst quarterback on that list, for me personally, it's Dak. Let's go to Coach Dreadhead. You're next up here on NFL Daily. Julio Jones to the Titans, close to hometown, and they'll be able to compete. How will they be able to get him? I mean, you got to give up, I think, a first or second round pick. I know that they don't want to trade in the NFC, which definitely helps the Tennessee Titans. In terms of the latest odds on Julio Jones' destinations, Tennessee had the second highest odds behind only the New England Patriots, so that definitely helps. But I'm sitting here second or first round pick. Bane Mafia, you're next up here on NFL Daily. Bills trade, yeah, that's a hell of a pick. Bills trade Gabe Davis, and a third for Julio Jones. Not enough. No respect to Gabe Davis. If you're going to get Julio Jones, you got to have at least a second-round pick involved. Like, if I'm Atlanta, I'm not giving up my best player on my team for a third-round pick. I mean, sure, maybe throwing a superstar. Gabe Davis isn't a superstar, so it's got to at least include a second-round pick, dude. All right, Mike Dibble, appreciate the super chat. Hey, Mitchell, do you think Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah could win Defensive Rookie of the Year? Could he? Absolutely. Usually, though, it goes to a defensive lineman that gets a lot of sacks. However, this year, the defensive tackle position, not very strong. In terms of edge rushers, though, like which edge rushers do I think could really take that next step and maybe not get like Chase Young type of numbers, but like 6-7 sacks? The first name that comes to my mind could be a guy like Jalen Phillips, who the Dolphins drafted number 18 overall. I also like Azeez Ojulari. I think that he's a pretty good sleeper. But if Joe can get a few interceptions and a few sacks underneath his belt, then sure, he has a good opportunity. If I missed your question, always know that, hey, I'm sorry, we can't get to all of them. My DMs, though, on Instagram are open for a reason. I just crossed 20,000 followers a few weeks ago, and one of the biggest reasons is because I go in my DMs, I answer questions. So if you guys want to talk to me about your favorite NFL team, if you want to ask me the question, because guess what? I couldn't get to it here on the show. Remember, the DMs are open on Instagram. I am at Mitchell Renz 365. So please, go ahead, hit me up right now, because what? We got 340 people watching this bad boy. Let me know. Hit me up at Mitchell Renz 365.